heart is yours until that I'll hold on to. That's what I do. And I know I was wrong. I won't let you down. Oh yeah, I will. Yes, I will. I say, I cry out. I don't love you anymore, a pretty line that I adore. 5 words that I've heard before. 'Cause you keep me on a rope and tied a noose around my throat. You're gone, then back at my door. 'Cause if you're gonna leave, better do it fast. Can't live a little longer sitting on your lap. 'Cause you know what you're doing when you're coming back. And I don't wanna have another heart attack. I can't be your lover on a leash every other week when you please. I can't be the kiss that you don't need, the lie between your teeth, the cut that always bleeds. The cut that always bleeds. Say you love somebody new and beat my heart to black and blue, and they leave, and it's me you come back to say you loved me all along and kiss the bruises till they're gone. Bittersweet, 'cause I can't breathe inside your arms. 'Cause if you're gonna leave, better do it fast. Can't live another minute bleeding from my back. 'Cause I don't have another one for you to stop. And I don't wanna have another heart attack. I can't be your lover on a leash every other week when you please. Oh, I can't be kiss that you don't need, the lie between your teeth, the cut that always bleeds, the cut that always bleeds. But even though you're killing me, I need you like the air I breathe. I need you more than me. I need you more than anything. Please, please, 'cause I could be your lover on a leash every other week when you please. Oh, I could be anything you need as long as you don't leave, the cut that always. HD, brand new phone, high heels on cobblestones. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. Sequin smile, black lipstick, sensual politics. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. But I knew you dancing in your Levi's, drunk under a streetlight. I knew you, hand under a sweatshirt, baby, kiss it better. And when I felt like I was in no cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite. A friend to all is a friend to none. Chase two girls, lose the one. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. But I knew you, playing hide and seek and giving me a weekend. I knew you, your heartbeat on the highline, once in 20 lifetimes. And when I felt like I was in no cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite. To kiss in cars and downtown bars was all we needed. You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding. 'Cause I knew you, stepping on the last train, marked me like a bloodstain. I knew you, try to change the ending, Peter losing Wendy. I knew you, leaving like a father, running like water. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. But I knew you'd linger like a tattoo kiss. I knew you'd haunt to love my what ifs. The smell of smoke would hang around this long. 'Cause I knew everything when I was young. I knew I'd curse you for the longest time, chasing shadows in a grocery line. I knew you'd miss me once the thrill expired, and you'd be standing in the front porch light. And I knew you'd come back to me. You'd come back to me, and you'd come back to me, and you'd come back. And when I felt like I was in no cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite.